My most commonly asked questions is, what's the dog's name? And my common response is, I don't give it out because the dog is working. And it tends to make people stop and think, because then they realize, oh yeah, like this is not, someone's cute little pet or little baby. This is somebody's dog who has a job. I think training is a process. It's a never-ending process. And you can add additional tasks or commands to your dog's training. And in fact, I think you should, otherwise they'll get bored. With Jenny, my first dog, she, half the time she'd pick up stuff just by my randomly talking. So I remember once walking through a mall and kind of being like, hey Jen, let's go find the ATM. And she goes straight to the bank's ATM machine, and I'm like, I've never ever targeted that with you. I've never shown you what that is. I don't know that you even know what that is, but you took me to exactly what I wanted.
I use a clicker in conjunction with food rewards to teach him new things like targeting something. So if I wanted to say find a garbage can, I would start at the garbage can. I'd put my hand next to it. He'd touch my hand with his nose, and then I'd click and give him a treat. Then we'd step back and do it again. And then I'd add a word, say garbage, and he would pull to go to that garbage, knowing or thinking he's gonna get a treat. And eventually we kind of wean the treats out and take away the clicker. I travel for work, and so a lot of the times even just staying in hotels, there's been hotels with really long hallways, and so I'll get, I'll do the training with Gecko to find the door, so I know he's taking me to my room and not some other person's room when we get off the elevator.
Hi, my name's Jenica, and I have a question. Is it cruel to make dogs work?
Training a dog and having them help you and work with you is not cruel at all. Every guide dog that I've had, and I've had 4, and every guide dog that I've ever observed, which is many, 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 they are so excited when you grab a hold of the harness. As soon as I touch the leash or the harness, Pal is immediately ready to go, and he's overjoyed and super excited to go to work, like to the point where I usually have to make him sit so that he's not jumping around and bouncing around. He's a German Shepherd, so he's always very talkative, and he'll tell me all about how he's so happy to go to work.
Somewhere? You? Okay. Come here. Yeah, boy. So happy to go every time. Yeah. You wanna go to somewhere? Yeah, oh yes.
Can guide dogs play?
Yes.
Guide dogs absolutely get to play.
Play is a very, very important part of the bond between a blind handler and their guide dog. There needs to be play. It can't be all work. It's just like for people. You can't just work and work and work all the time and have no relaxation time or fun time. And he'll tell me when he wants to play. He's very insistent on the fact that he's ready to play at certain points. Other times he just wants to lay down and relax. Guide dogs are very well aware of when it's work time and when it's off time.
We come home from work and Yasha has 2 doggies that she can play with. They can keep themselves occupied and play on their own. It's great.
I don't work Bailey without her stuff on, so that she has a very clear line of when she's working versus when she's free to do her own thing and be herself.
I'm so used to being at her house when she's not working and Bailey's constantly around me. I'm constantly petting her. So that's the main thing that I find that's challenging, is to remember that, okay, we're out, she's working, she's not the same dog, or when she's out, she's working, when she's at home, she's a pet.
Hi, my name is Kaylee, and can guide dogs have puppies?
Guide dogs cannot have puppies.
They cannot have puppies.
They're all, in order to be allowed to be a guide dog, in general, they have to be spayed or neutered.
Guide dogs are typically spayed or neutered as soon as it's medically feasible. That helps to keep distractions, especially for male dogs. It helps keep distractions limited. For female dogs, it obviously helps to keep accidents from occurring.
Where do guide dogs sleep?
Guide dogs will typically sleep as close to their handler as they can possibly get. Again, everybody who has a guide dog is an individual, and so it's really up to the person to decide where their dog is going to sleep. Some people have a kennel that they put their dog in at night. In my case, there's a dog bed directly beside my bed, and that's where he sleeps.
What the guide dogs typically eat, and when do they normally eat?
When it comes to food for guide dogs, you try and get the best quality you can get when they're working. They have to be mentally sharp. They have to be in good physical condition. That means that they have to have really good food. So guide dogs do not eat human food of any kind. The biggest reason for that is that guide dogs have to go into restaurants, and if a guide dog has the taste for human food, that could be disastrous while that dog is trying to guide you through a restaurant. Okay, so when me and Pal go into a restaurant, there is certain etiquette that Pal and I both have to follow in order for him to maintain his good behavior in a restaurant and to basically disappear under a table. So this is basically what we have to do. It's a bit of a dance. We come up to a table like this. He shows me the table or the seat. And then we do this. Come on. Turn. And down. Good boy. So now he's nicely tucked underneath the table, under my feet. Nobody can see him down there, and he's very safe and secure and hanging out, ready to have a big sleep on my foot while I have something to eat. He's usually pretty good at finding a spot underneath the table. Usually a booth is best. It gives a little bit more room for the dog and keeps him safe and secure and out of the way, and allows him to disappear a little bit in the restaurant so that he's not as noticeable. Nobody wants their dog jumping up on someone's table to grab their steak because the dog's had steak before and he knows that it tastes good. Also, human food is not healthy for a dog.
Jenny has this weird internal clock thing that she knows exactly when supper is. Breakfast is slightly negotiable, but supper is not. Jenny will usually eat, Jenny is retired now, but Jenny will still usually eat breakfast between 6 and 6:30 and supper at 6. And if she does not get supper at 6, you can feel her eyes just following you, and you know that you are late for feeding her Royal Highness.
How does a blind person pick up dog food?
So some dogs need to be on a strict schedule to go to the bathroom. So some handlers will set timers on their phones. Most guide dogs will need to have some sort of flexibility in that. But generally, we take them out 5 times in a day. If they're drinking more, we take them out more often. We have specific commands that we give them to go to the bathroom, so that then they know that it is absolutely okay that they, leave a present for the universe on this patch of grass. Because otherwise they'll either hold it or they will relieve in a place where they're not supposed to. So there's a few ways you can pick up after a dog if you can't see it. Depending on how cooperative your dog is at staying stationary when they go to the bathroom, because some dogs are not stationary, you can feel the arch of their back and point your toe towards where their bum is. You keep it a little far away because the last thing you want is to have dog poop on your shoe. And then when they move out of the way, as they do, if you keep that foot right where you pointed it, you are relatively close to where the dog has deposited a present to the universe and can fairly easily pick up. If your dog does not remain stationary or has other relieving issues, or if you have issues being able to, say, bend over and pick up after the dog, there are harnesses that are available that are called relieving harnesses that can actually hold what the dog deposits, and then you can basically take it has like a bag on it, and so you can take that bag off of the harness, replace it, and then go on your way.
Get on there.
So currently I am a working musician in Edmonton. I'm in several different bands, and I play guitar and sing around Edmonton in various different venues across the city and around Alberta.
Hey, can we not do a cheers with us, or is it too early yet? Do it again, I didn't see you guys. Cheers!
Welcome to the bayou. We're down in a big old swamp, Louisiana voodoo, grooving to the alligator stomp, sitting on a back porch, staring at the stars as we picking and a stereotype.
Running with a guide dog is an absolutely liberating experience if A, the dog wants to, and B, you know your dog well enough to do it. If they are distracted by small creatures, or if they are stressed by guiding at faster paces, they should not be doing it. And that's not a judgment about the quality of any guide dog, because I don't believe all guide dogs should guide while running. I started running with Jenny when she was about 3. We'd been a team for about a year and a half, and it was just a very natural progression for us. I started basically around the block. If it sucked, then I didn't want her to do it. But she loved it, and I loved it, and it was such a freeing experience.
Daryl Lang is extraordinary. She can call herself among the less than 1% of the world's population that have run a marathon, but among an even tinier segment of those people who have finished a marathon and also happen to be visually impaired. She has a great blog that talks about her life experience, the role that running plays, and how it brings her peace and calm, pride and resilience, and makes her strong.
So the harness I ran with Jenny is a very lightweight harness, and it has a strap that goes between the dog's front legs, and it comes up into a bit of a Y shape between over the dog's shoulders. So you can feel all of the movements of the dog, and then they have full range of motion in their shoulders. When Jenny was younger, she's not young anymore, we would probably run 3 to 4 days a week. We'd go to our local run club. We'd have a group of people who'd all run together. It was great. When I trained with Yasha, you know, I indicated I was interested in a running guide, if not one that was trained to run, one that could be.
When the guide dog is at home, it's like anybody else that's sitting at home or at home. They're not they're not on duty. Play is a big part of the off-duty time.
It's a different lifestyle, so you got to be prepared for that, and that lifestyle comes with its own psychological and emotional impacts, because then you have to think of not only yourself, you have to think about, what does that dog need? Do I need food? Do I need to take it to the vets? What toys does it need?
A dog is a living, breathing being. I can't believe I have to say this, but they have emotional needs, they have physical needs, they sometimes get sick. They may decide suddenly they don't want to work anymore. There's a lot of things that you have to consider about working with a dog, but that you don't have to with a cane. But for me, it is very much worth the trade-off. I have another head to get me out of a situation, even if that's the same head that got me into it in the first place.